Welcome to the OMG Show.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the OMG Show. Today we're going to be talking about how to scale without sacrificing your reputation. This is going to be tailored more so to those who are in, the service-based business. Maybe you're a coach or consultant and you do a lot of one-on-one work. And this is something that I have a lot in common with, because it's something that I do now with my done-for-you clients. And so there's a certain point where you feel that you can't scale unless certain things happen. So, there's different ways to scale a business. And I think the main three are, in a coaching aspect, consulting aspect, are number one, you bring on more clients, right, at your current price point. The thing about that is that when you bring in more clients and it's one-to-one, you're sacrificing more of your time. So in reality, you're kind of devaluing your time in a sense when you bring on more clients, even if they're at the same price point. It's the fact of the matter is that now you have less time for yourself, and time is the most valuable thing. So when you're giving your time away, even if it is paid, the more clients you have, the less time you have for yourself. And I don't think we ever want to be in a business where we don't have time for ourselves. That's not kind of why we go into business. We go into business because we want to help people, but at the same time, we want to live a lifestyle that's good, that we want to have. We want to be able to travel, we want to be able to spend time with our families, we want to be able to do things that we truly care about. Some of my clients just want to enjoy their backyard, but they can't because they're so focused on getting more clients, and they get the client, but then they realize they have no time, right? So that's one of the tropes there. One of the other ways to scale your business is to increase your pricing, right? So you can essentially less is more, where you have less clients but you charge more. In this case, I prefer this as like my number one scaling method, just because you can see and bring more value to the marketplace, as well as provide better service, right? Think of a concierge. If you're more personable, you're more available, and at the same time, you also increase your value in the marketplace, because you pretty much block out the same amount of time that you otherwise would use to handle the same amount of clients, except you're charging more. So you made your time much more valuable. And again, time is the most valuable asset that we have. And so since we can't get it back, maximizing and optimizing the value of our time should be a goal for anyone that does coaching, that works one-to-one, as that's in that field. Now, the other way to scale a business in this type of industry is, of course, to bring people on board. So if you're the expert, that means pretty much training other people to be who you are, and then them having their own clients and you taking a percentage, or there's many different types of revenue models and income streams that you can choose to follow with those models. But those are kind of like the main three ways to scale a one-to-one business, if you will. There are many other methods out there, but those I feel like are the main three that I encounter the most when I talk with people and when I work with my clients. And each one has their own set of benefits and also cons. So, I think when it comes to scaling the business and losing your reputation, you have to have defined systems and processes, okay? I think before you go into either bringing more clients on, charging more, or even bringing on other people, the underlying issue that's going to, help you in the long term is making sure that you have a solid system and process in place, meaning the way you do things, it's all documented. And for the most part, most of it is automated. Okay. The only times when you want to start looking to hire other people is when you've determined that you can't automate it and that it's not worth your time doing. At that point, that's when you want to look outside and say, okay, you know what? Let me see if there's someone else that I can bring on board to help me with this issue in hand. But before you can think about scaling, you have to have systems and processes in place. You need to have a system that brings in cold traffic, converts them into customers, and then converts those customers into repeat customers. Okay. You need to have systems for the way you send out emails, the way you produce content, the way you publish content, the way you handle customers, the onboarding. Everything should have a system, a process, a flow. And more importantly, that system, that process, and that flow should all be documented in a step-by-step manner where a 5-year-old should be able to follow it. Okay. And the reason why I say 5-year-old is because, I used to be a project manager. And so there's some times when, when following steps can get a little too complicated. I mean, if you ever try to build some kind of furniture, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes there's steps that are missing, Sometimes there's pieces that are missing, but it all comes from what I call the peanut butter test, right? So a peanut butter test is kind of a test you want to give someone to see how they logically think about things, how they can explain things. And so you pretty much say, hey, listen, I've been living under a cave for the past 20 years. I have no idea what a peanut butter jelly sandwich is. Assume that I just came out of this cave and I'm craving a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Instruct me on how to make that peanut butter jelly sandwich. So someone might actually say, okay, well, you get a slice of bread, you put peanut butter on one side, you put jelly on the other, you put them together and you bite them. Okay, well, where do I get the bread? Where do I find the bread? How do I open the bread? Do I take out 3 slices, 4 slices, 1 slice? How do I put the peanut butter? Do I just put the peanut butter top on top of the bread? You see what I'm getting at? So you need to make sure your systems and processes are, easy, that a 5th, grade level student can follow them through and achieve the same outcome. That way, when you go and try to hire someone, you can expect the same result, and the quality of service doesn't depreciate. Okay, so you want to make sure you have that. Now, how do you go about documenting? Well, one of the best things you can do is just record yourself doing whatever it is that you do on the daily for your business. You have to keep track of the sales calls. You have to keep track of the onboarding calls. You have to keep track of, how you do things. Every inside out of your business should have a method to the madness. So that way you could step away from your business and hand it off to someone else and they can follow it and the results are expected. Okay, but that's kind of the level where you need to be. If you have a business where you're one-to-one, you're working with people and you can't scale because you don't have systems and processes in place, well then that's the issue, right? None of it is documented. It's a very case-by-case scenario, and it's very hard to scale a case-by-case scenario when all your current clients are case-by-case, when there isn't some type of groundwork that you can build upon. Okay, now I'm not saying you're looking for cookie-cutter clients and you're going to treat every client the same. That's not it, because clients are always going to be different. They're going to have different needs, and you should always customize your services to your clients, or to the best of your ability, so that way you're good, they're good, everybody's good. Okay, but everything surrounding your clients, everything surrounding your business, even if it's courses, should be automated and documented to the point where, again, someone else can follow those steps and achieve the same outcome. You want to create a recipe, okay, and these recipes, you want to make sure that even an amateur, home cook can follow through and have a delicious dish at the end of the day. That's what you need to have. So spend some time in your business focusing on what are the big things that I do every single day. Start there and then start documenting. Go, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Do every little thing and then give it off to a friend. If you have someone who's in a 5th grade level, or someone else, see if they can follow your steps and achieve the same outcome. And if not, where you can go back and fix what you need to fix. But that way, when you're ready to scale, whether it's through gaining more clients, charging more, or bringing people on board, you have all the systems and processes documented, so that way you're ready to roll to the next step. Now, between the 3, again, my favorite is the one where you increase your pricing. Right? Number 1, that sets you apart from your competitors. Number 2, that gives you a higher perceived value. And number 3, like I said before, it increases the value of your time. You maximize and you optimize your time, which again, you can't get back. So that would be my preferred method to scale. But regardless of how you choose to scale your business, you need to have that underlying framework of systems and processes that anyone else can follow through. Otherwise, when you're scaling your business, you're going to realize you can't do it on your own. And then you're going to start to feel it. You're going to start to get more stressed. You're going to start to get frustrated. You might even feel like calling it quits. And ultimately, that's going to hurt your client, your customer, which at the end of the day, that's what you don't want, because then that means they're going to be breaking their contracts. They're not going to want to do work for you. And let's be honest, most, one-to-one coaches, consultants work on referral base. That's a huge portion of your business. And if you're not getting referrals, then you're going to be hurting down the line. Okay, so think about it, implement it, but definitely make sure you map out your systems and processes, so that way when you're thinking about scaling, your reputation isn't going to be affected. Well, it will be affected, but in a good way. And that's what you want, because then, a better reputation means more referrals, means more business, which means you get to help out more people and leave a lasting impact. All right, so that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you all on the next one.